Hello, Internet. Now please hold on to your butt as two comedians attempt to talk about serious subjects in a not so serious manner. From the mysterious to the utterly vicious, everything is fair game. This is the Kill Them With Comedy podcast, featuring true crime, amazing events, conspiracies, unsolved mysteries, and an array of weird and wonderful topics, all for your enjoyment. You're welcome. And you know what's wonderful about that intro is it covers everything, so I don't really have to say anything now. But I will say, I am Katie Hinken, and I'm joined with my fellow funny friend over that side. Sorry. The creator of the post-apocalyptic metal treehouse sketch show on Dead Man Dancing, Nathan Parrish. How are you, dude?
I'm not so bad. As I've just been saying before we started recording, I've managed to get some writing done today, closer to getting that episode out, and I'm closer to getting the episode after out because it's a lot of spillover.
do you find, I've been finding this lately, the more and more you make stuff, because it feels good when you make something at the end.
Yeah.
I have an addictive personality. I think I'm slightly getting addicted to making stuff, which is one of the best things I've probably been addicted to out of all of them. Don't get me wrong.
I think it's probably. I mean, like any addiction could be unhealthy, can't it? But like a working addiction, at least that gets you somewhere in life.
Yeah. Like my brother is very addicted to work.
Yeah, the problem is like with the stuff I'm trying to write at the moment, it's always like stop and start. I'll start writing every day, and either I'll get like an hour into it and be like, I'm getting fucking nowhere.
Yeah.
Or I'll be like all day writing, and I'll be like, yeah, excellent, I've got loads of stuff done, and come back and go like, nah, I need to edit all this. It's fucking nightmare.
I think that generally way I manage with that is like just having a few different things to jump in between, because I go crazy else. I just sit there and I'm like, come out, do something. It doesn't work from my head.
Yeah, I find the brick wall method is the only one that I do at the moment. As I say, it's like I don't actually smack my head. I
get that
like,
actually
it's
more.
Just it's just the thing of like I just need to keep doing this. Need to keep doing this. I need to keep doing this, and eventually the dam will break, and I'll get something.
Yeah, I'll grind in.
Yeah.
So I keep getting distracted. It's that one up there. It's the Terminator one. It's going to fall any second. Look.
Oh no!
It's going right now, I think.
Have you played Terminator Resistance? Is it Resistance? Yeah.
Played it. No, what's that? Oh, fuck's sake!
Oh, no, there it goes. There it goes.
But talking about things that we didn't know about that just suddenly appeared. I didn't know about Terminator, but these steel monoliths that are just suddenly appearing everywhere.
Yeah. Now the thing is, I'm almost certain it's just a bunch of like weird, randomly like disconnected artists going, yeah, I'm going to stick this one up. I'm going to stick this one up. We saw that the like one group of guys took one of them down as well. Like the central one, the one in the desert. What a bunch of pricks! Oh yeah, we think we need to take this down. It's going to damage the environment. Fuck off, mate! It's a bit of art. Come on.
Wait, who said that?
Yeah. The people who took it down. Like there was a guy who took photos of the people who took down the one in the desert. And they put a message out as well. They posted it up themselves of them taking it down and like, yeah, no, this is damaging to nature. Loads of people are going to want to go here and have a look at it. And like, it's public land, for a start, which, that's fuck you. And then like, I don't get it, man. I don't get it. Just let that happen. Let that one thing be there.
So is it come out now then that the ones that moved, the one in Utah, weren't the people, well, you know what I mean, were someone else that just taking it out because they weren't happy that it's there? Well, yeah, there was the Bureau of Land Management. There was something to do with them. Because the name stuck in my head because it was BLM, and I was like, I didn't realize that name was already taken.
Yeah. No, I don't really know enough about the situation. All I know is that I wanted it to stay up. It looked fairly cool. And maybe like, I don't think it's real or anything. I'm not like believing it's aliens, but it's it's cool.
It's very cool. I'd love to believe it's aliens, but it's probably not. Yeah, it's just like but like we were saying before when we was messaging about it, like to me, it's just cool that like the amount of organization has gone into it and the amount of the fact that they chose to spend their time over the pandemic doing this, planning this.
Yeah, I as I say, there's an artist out there who spent a lot of time on that.
Yeah,
and like respect to that, respect to making the thing, getting it out there, putting it up. Not telling anyone as well, not telling a single fucking person. Yeah, and just waiting until people came across it, and then like, brilliant.
And I mean, like, well, depending on who got rid of the one, I was about to say that they removed the one in Utah, and then a day later, the one in Romania popped up.
Yeah, but that's it. Yeah,
they might not have took it out in that case then. But either way, yeah, they're just going around the fucking world, just whacking these steel things in the ground. It's just a random ass. Why not?
Yeah,
why not? I guess
when I was at university, me and my friends, we used to do this little like self art project all the time. So while it was in, so basically we'd get really pissed. We'd find a traffic cone, obviously, and then we would proceed to have my mate hold the traffic cone, climb onto my shoulders whilst carrying the traffic cone, like feet onto my shoulders, and then he put the top of the traffic cone on top of a particular pole in the campus.
Yeah.
And we named it Wizardtron. It was the ultimate robot wizard warrior. And whenever anyone took the traffic cone down, we'd go out, we'd find another one, we'd put it on. By the end of it, we didn't have to put the traffic cone back on. When the traffic cone got taken off, someone else put a traffic cone back on it, because that is the way it was supposed to be.
I like that. That's very good.
I love that. I love university days, man. They were good.
Yeah, I love my college days. I feel like I had like the university days in college, so I'm happy with that too. Did you see the thing at all about this? Was literally, I think, like 3 days ago now, about these new released photos and leaked photos of aliens from the government, some new ones.
Oh, new ones! I didn't see new ones.
There's one. The actual photo has been released. And I'll show you it, but it doesn't look like much because they took the photo on the iPhone. One of the jet pilots whipped out his iPhone and took this photo because it was the only way.
Right, yeah.
But this one's actually been leaked. This was apparently closer up. It was a circle with a square in it, something like that. But it was going around all over the place, and that was the actual zoomed in bit of the photo. The actual photo is like a shooting. You see the pilot in and everything.
That's very strange, isn't it?
But the other one is though. Apparently, there's this other one that they have. Apparently, they've confirmed they have. Loads of people have seen it. But there's this one officer or one person that's suppressing it coming out. You know that because there was some guy on Joe Rogan the other day, and he had something to read out that was from the former deputy of security or what, something like that, like right up there.
Yeah.
Security of staff or something to do with department of some kind of security.
Homeland Security.
Anyway. It was
Homeland
something.
Security, was it?
It was something to do with that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the former thing, and he just read off this thing, basically confirming it all, saying it exists. You need to give it out to the public like you're supposed to. There's no reason why you shouldn't. And apparently, this is what it shows. It's a super ultra clear photo with this triangle thing just in the upper right corner. And it's like really clear, hence why it's, they're trying to get it brought out.
I don't know.
That's not the photo.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say.
No, that's not the photo. That's an artist rendition of it.
Yeah, good, because that literally looked like something I would make in my first year of uni.
Yeah. No, that's an artist rendition because so many people have seen it, and that's apparently what it looks like. I want to see it, man. Oh, you might like this. Like I saw this T-shirt earlier online. See, I want to. Yeah, I want to get that, but I want to replace it with some of you, with all of you.
Yeah.
Although I suppose I like some people. I like comedian
there's some.
people. I like comedian fans.
Yeah, I can't wait to get in front of an audience again, man. That's gonna be so good.
I'm proper like looking forward to it at the moment. I've realised why it is that I like comedians and like fans of comedy so much, because I just don't like most people generally. But they're people that are just more open to stuff, more like you don't have to edit yourself around them as much.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of good people around in comedy so far.
There's a
I
lot
mean,
of bad people too.
there's a lot of bad people too, but the thing is, there's enough of them around that you don't have to sort of stick with the ones that are shitty.
We should get going anyway.
I suppose so.
Yeah, I think you should go first this week.
I'm going to go first.
Yeah.
Right.
Sorry,
okay.
yeah.
So today I've gone from like apocalyptic world-ending shit to just like common corporate skullduggery, basically. Skullduggery is a great word as well. So
that is a great word. I would
this
agree
is about the cola killings in Colombia.
Okay.
Right. So this is from a 1987 booklet, Soft Drink, Hard Labor. It was a quote from the Latin America Bureau in London. For 9 years, the 450 workers at the Coca-Cola bottling plant in Guatemala City fought a battle for their jobs, their trade, their union, and their lives. 3 times they occupied the plant, on the last occasion for 13 months. 3 general secretaries of their union were murdered and 5 other workers killed. 4 more were kidnapped and have disappeared. Against all the odds, they survived, thanks to their own extraordinary courage and help from fellow trade unionists in Guatemala and around the world. Huge international campaign of protests and boycotts was central to their struggle. As a result, the Coca-Cola workers forced concessions from one of the world's largest multinational food giants and kept Guatemalan trade union movement alive through a dark age of government repression.
There was a lot of murdering and kidnapping going on, and they got concessions out of it.
Yeah. This
like money or
so basically Coca-Cola is not the squeaky clean holidays are coming company you think they are. And I mean, people never really people never thought they were that great anyway, did they? Like, we all know that they're just selling us a drinkable poison.
Yeah that used to have cocaine in it.
Yeah, it used to have cocaine, and in fact was probably healthier when it did.
Yeah.
Because now they're simulating the effect that cocaine gives you with caffeine and shitloads more sugar and all these other horrendous things.
Yeah.
But yeah. So basically, Oh yeah, go ahead. Yeah. So basically, Coca-Cola is responsible sort of vicariously for multiple deaths in this particular bottling plant in Colombia. And it's not just accidental deaths at all. This is very specific. So, right. First big inciting incident. A union leader, Isidro Gil, was killed on the 5th of December 1966 inside the entrance of the Coke plant in Carepa by paramilitary thugs.
Oh, jeez, okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
Minutes after the thugs showed up, they shot and killed Gil, a member of the union executive board. Yeah.
Cheap version
what
of Kill
a
Bill.
movie franchise that would be.
Kill Gil.
I'd fucking watch that. I'd watch the shit out of that. It'd be great.
You think
just this Coca-Cola worker, they think he's dead, he comes back from the dead, he starts fucking them all up.
But I was also thinking in my head as well, it's totally got to be the Gil from Simpsons. That's his name, isn't it? Yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, one of the union leaders who witnessed Gil's slaying on the 5th of December 1996 is Luis Adolfo Cardona. Cardona said he was operating a forklift at the bottling plant when he heard the first shot and saw Gil collapse. Cardona ran towards Gil as the gunman fired several more shots. The assailant fled on a motorcycle. Right? So this is organized level crime. This is a hit out on a guy who's, let's not forget, bottling Coca-Cola. Like,
yeah.
this is not a fucking cartel shit. This is, oh yeah, oh, that's refreshing. I'll have that with a nice fish and chips.
I was about to say, I suppose it's a big business still, but even I can't figure out what the logic would. I'm guessing he was into something else.
Yeah, well, no, this is the thing. He wasn't. This is a continued pattern, right? So Cardona said he was kidnapped hours after Gill's slaying by the same paramilitary unit and narrowly escaped death. The militia torched the local union office the next day, told labor organizers to leave the area or die, and according to Luis Hernan Manco, the Sinal-Trinal, I can't remember how to pronounce it, it's a Colombian word, give me a break, but president at the Carepa plant, Cardona, Manco, and a third union official fled Carpea and never returned. Cardona eventually sought asylum in Chicago.
Okay, that's a jump.
Yeah, this is what we're talking about. We're talking about a man who has to actually go basically under witness protection from Coca-Cola.
What the hell? Who are these paramilitary people as well?
These paramilitaries are people in Colombia. It's a fairly common thing in Colombia. Yeah, they are full-blown mercenaries. They have military-grade equipment, and they're just being hired to intimidate. They're basically being used like street thugs would, except they've got access to drones.
To drones?
Like Obama-style drones, not like, you know...
Fucking hell.
Yeah. I mean, this is the world that we live
in. I mean, do we know at this point who's hiring them?
Well, that's the thing. It's technically not Coca-Cola themselves. There's always been a certain degree of like separation between Coca-Cola themselves and the paramilitary group. It's the bottling plant specifically in Colombia that seems to be most directly attached to this. But Coca-Cola during this entire period has never stopped business with this plant.
Yeah.
I mean, it sort of speaks for itself, really, doesn't it? I mean, after you find out this is happening once, maybe you just say, let's not work with these people anymore.
Yeah. It's still hard to figure out exactly what's going on, but either way, it seems like some people, they're probably questionable characters are running that bottling plant or something to do with this.
Yeah, exactly. But
it's Coca-Cola's plant then, but they're hiring mercenaries to kill the people in their own plant.
Well, no, basically they wanted to unionize, so they were trying to sort of push up wages, gain a decent living wage, make it so that it was health and safety applicable stuff going on. But of course that costs money, and that costs money to the people who run the plant. So the plant don't want people to unionize. It's actually a very similar sort of thing to what's happening with Amazon at the moment. Amazon's desperately trying to stop their workers from unionizing, because otherwise then they can say, legally strike to get something to happen.
Yeah, same thing's kind of happened with the wrestlers as well now.
Yeah.
I mean, talking about getting unionized because Joe Biden won.
What's really disgusting is like you get a lot of people who hate on unions, and don't get me wrong, some unions at times have had far too much power and have like twisted arms that they shouldn't have done. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
but you got to remember, like, the reason why we've got an 8-hour work day is because of unions. The reason why we've got a living wage is because of unions. Like these things are important, and especially when you got like this government in particular. It's not just this government; it's every government.
Yeah.
Like police living wage, if you account for like inflation, has gone down 2.5% over the past, I think, 5 or 10 years.
Okay.
Nurses have gone down similar. Fire's gone down similar. All the sort of really important stuff has had a reduction. Yeah. If you account for inflation, whilst MPs' wages have risen by 8%. Because they get to vote up their own wages.
Yeah.
And who the fuck gets to vote their own wages, man? I just don't see the point of that.
The rulers, basically,
yeah,
isn't it?
Well, exactly, yeah. It's a political elite. But regardless, right.
I mean, it doesn't surprise me.
The problem with saying political elite as well is that you always end up sounding like a right-wing conspiracy theorist. I'm not. I'm just a guy who dislikes politicians.
Most of the world's a conspiracy theorists now. I mean, apparently half the people seem to think that the world's just trying to control through some kind of flu vaccination. But I'm not going to get into that.
Thing. Yeah, no, we talked about that last week. But it's like, just take your fucking medicine and be a fucking person. Be a purse. Be purse. Okay.
Be purse. Just don't be. Have you seen that fucking thing on my Facebook page? I put the status on about it, and there's just so many comics and that just going back, and I'm constantly getting comments. So I've just left it. I've been good. I'm not getting into an argument.
Is this a new giant argument about vaccination that's just appeared there though?
Yeah, it's on my Facebook. It's from a status I put on, and it's just all the comments thereafter.
Yeah. The thing is,
great reading.
Yeah, when you can just put one word down about a subject and it just turns into a shit show. Yeah. You just go like, I just don't need to even fucking care about this shit anymore. Like,
it is nice to see like the comics are on the side though of no, you need to do this, like have a vaccination. Stop being stupid.
The vast majority, and like I've seen a lot of comedians come out and just go, no, you're being an idiot about this. This is important. Just fucking take it and stop being a dick. Yeah. And like what annoys me as well is like talking about Joe Rogan. I love Joe Rogan, but the most recent Joe Rogans, there's been a lot of stuff where he's just like, this vaccine, this vaccine, that I don't know if this vaccine works, and he's like quoting Bill Gates. He's like, don't quote Bill Gates about this fucking vaccine. Bill Gates doesn't know shit about vaccines. Bill Gates doesn't know shit about scientific data. He's a fucking billionaire. That's all he ever has been. Well, apart from a programmer, but he doesn't know shit about medical. He's just funding this shit. If you want to know the actual facts, talk to a fucking scientist.
Did you see that little interview thing they showed on Joe Rogan of Bill Gates? He was terrible. They were asking him stuff, and he just wasn't answering the. I was just thinking the whole time, why is he in that position? He doesn't know what he's talking about.
Exactly.
And people are going to use that as.
And he goes, "Oh yeah, it was extremely painful." And it's like, okay, but what's the actual percentage? Because it's not going to be that percentage. He's just.
I understood before, but then afterwards, I understood less.
Yeah, this is the thing.
The worst
and you look at the actual facts of these vaccinations. Yes, there are people who have bad reactions to it, just like every vaccination.
Exactly,
of course there is, but that doesn't mean that the vast majority of people shouldn't take it, because it's like there's this perfect thing on Penn and Teller's bullshit where they did a vaccine thing, and it was about specifically it was about autism in that case. They were saying, do vaccines cause autism? And no, they don't. No start. They don't.
Just no, yeah.
But they go, but even if it did, let's assume it knocks one person into the autistic spectrum, and now we have to deal with that. That is still better than the hundreds of thousands of people who would have died of smallpox, measles, mumps, rubella. Like, could we tuberculosis?
Some people even just focusing on this right now, even when people just say it's only 0.01%. I literally say that in that status thing. Like if you don't think just the chance of being a bit fluey and all that is worse than like people dying at 0.01% to thousands of people, it's just sociopathic. It really is.
Yeah, the whole point the whole point of a vaccine is a significantly reduced version of the virus or a dead version of the virus, which means you will get a slight reaction. Well, not necessarily, but that's layman terms. You know what I mean?
Well,
the thing is, with this one specifically, it's a protein one, isn't it? They've isolated the protein. They've knocked it out, that particular part that produces the corona thing on the outside. But
that could also be something to do with why it was created a bit quicker, a lot of people are saying.
Yeah, because they've got a new revolutionary way that they found how to do this shit because of this.
And every company and every resource is going into it just because supply and demand right now. Whoever does it first gets the money, baby.
Yeah, that's the big thing for me as well. Like, there's loads of people going, "Oh, well, you got to follow the money." Yeah, let's follow the money then. Okay.
Exactly.
The reason why Pfizer wants this vaccine out and they want it to work well is because they need the money. They are losing money like everyone else this year because people aren't going out and breaking their legs and needing pain medication. They aren't going out there and getting an infection and needing antibacterial medication. They have lost so much money. They need this shit to work.
It just makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Even from a selfish point of view.
Follow the money, man. Always follow the money.
That literally does mean the most. And in this situation, like, it's just what we were just said then. It's just a purely logical thing, and it shouldn't have to go further than that. But people won't. Yeah, what else can you say?
Yeah. But I mean, we said we weren't going to talk about it, and then we've just sort of done the whole. But I think that was the most like precise and like succinct version of that we could do. I think that's like says it all, really.
That's going to be a
anyway. Clip. Yeah, that's going to be a good clip.
You know what? Yeah. Go ahead. Right? So, you're in the middle of a story.
Yes, the Coca-Cola killing.
Yes.
Because that was only incident 1. Incident 2 was in 2004. No, sorry, not 2004. The investigation was conducted in 2004 by the New York City fact-finding delegation on Coca-Cola in Colombia. So this is using information from certain people who have now fled Colombia because of being killed by Coca-Cola. Testimony was also heard in Barrancabermeja Major, a site of continuing anti-union violence and paramilitary stronghold. Luis Eduardo Garcia and Jose Domingo Flores, along with several others, were imprisoned after the chief of Coca-Cola security accused them of placing a bomb in the plant. The Coca-Cola company brought criminal charges of terrorism against these employees and 3 others in 1996 from their Bucaramanga part. But this is the thing, right? This is the first time we've actually got any like suggestion that there is a terrorist element. Like before this, never mentioned. It was just like the paramilitary anti-union stuff. But of course, there's 2 ways of looking at that. Either that wasn't happening at that point, if you know what I mean. It was just a sort of a random occurrence. Or, and I've lost my point here.
Or they weren't aware of it as well, I guess.
Or they weren't aware of it. Now, the problem with that is that they were detained for 6 months until charges were dismissed as without merit by the prosecution.
Oh, they were dismissed because there was...
Basically, this is complete bullshit made up by Coca-Cola. The workers and their families were never compensated for the damages suffered, and some report suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder incurred from their experience in the prison, which, by the way, supposedly involved torture.
What?
Again, holidays are coming.
So just so I'm up to date here, they accused them of like this terrorist stuff of blowing up the factory. It's all bullshit, but during that time until the trial, they've been
for 6 months without trial.
Fucking hell, okay. Wow.
Tortured him during those 6 months. Not just him as well, 3 other people, so 4 in total being tortured.
I hope to God that Coca-Cola didn't own the prison as well, but I could see it.
I think they at least had, some supply going there. They're earning a little bit of money off it. You know what I mean? Just every so often, chuck a Coca-Cola at them, make sure they're having a nice day.
Sponsorships on the walls,
Yeah. But right. So it was brought to the attention of this delegation, i.e. the one in New York, sorry, God damn it, I keep on burping. I've got so much fucking like whiskey in me, and it's only like 4:00, so I'm technically a bad person. But
it's like Christmas all the time.
Right exactly. Now. Yeah. So there has been continued violence towards Coca-Cola workers since these attacks. As recently as the 11th of September 2003. Garcia and Flores reported they were victims of subsequent physical attacks. Previously, on the 22nd of August 2003, an assassination attempt was reportedly made on the life of Juan Carlos Galvez, vice president of Sinaltrainal in this place again. The delegation also heard first-hand testimony.
That guy, sorry, is he on like the Coca-Cola side or the family side? Just so we know who was
family side.
Okay, he was attempted to be assassinated.
Yeah, there is only ever assassination and physical violence coming from Coca-Cola,
okay.
never to Coca-Cola.
That's good to know.
Yeah. So yeah. Yeah, the delegation also first-hand tested. Yeah, in the Atlantic coast city of Barranquilla, from Limberto Carranza and his 15-year-old son David Jose, who was kidnapped on September 10th, 2003, while riding his bicycle. During his captivity, the boy was said to be physically and mentally tortured, once again, while he was being questioned on the whereabouts of his father, a union leader in Barranquilla. Witnesses continue to claim that the exchanges of money between personnel of Coca-Cola specifically. Now, this is the time and the only time that Coca-Cola themselves are directly related, whether it be Coca-Cola Colombia specifically as opposed to Coca-Cola America. But between exchanges of money between the personnel of Coca-Cola and the paramilitary agents are taking place on a regular basis. That was still happening in 2003.
Oh, wow. And what country was it again?
Colombia, the home of cocaine, my friend.
Yeah. That's like South America, isn't it?
South America, near Brazil and Mexico. And
I saw Gordon Ramsay go there and learn how to do coke. How to make coke, sorry.
Yeah.
How to do coke.
I'm sure he already knew that, mate.
It was called Gordon Ramsay on coke, and I was really disappointed when I turned it on. It was him figuring out how it's made.
Yeah, it's like, do you ever see those the shows where they sort of get a random person in to try a drug for the first time? Like they did it once with MDMA on Channel 4, and they had a guy just sitting there doing MDMA live on the show. Oh, it was amazing. It's hilarious television because it's just a guy off his tits being asked questions like, and how are you feeling right now? He's like, I'm feeling pretty good.
Even better when you can relate as well. You're like, yeah, I understand that.
Yeah, I know where he's at. It's
not doing bad people or anything.
But the best part is they had, was it Jon Snow from Channel 4 News? You know, the presenter.
Old guy, yeah.
And he's like, I have never before smoked marijuana, and I am now going to smoke marijuana for the first time live on Channel 4.
Oh, wow.
Right, and he does it. And he's like, oh, I feel terrible. I feel very sick. I feel very ill. I feel anxious and nervous. The guy smoked a fat blunt to himself. Had never smoked the stuff before. I'm talking pure, man. Pure, foot long reef on rat head. And he's like,
Marley,
and he's smoking the whole thing down. Like, of course you're going to have a problem, mate. What are you thinking?
Ignoring the fact that you're doing it on the news as well. I would get so paranoid if even if I could imagine, like, you know, you've been doing stand-up like for ages and then you have 7 gigs in a row, so you're feeling good, you know, the confidence is up on that 7th gig. And then if I got on stage and smoked that fat blunt, I would still go to shit.
Yeah.
It wouldn't matter.
What can you do in that scenario? You can just go, I can't remember what I'm supposed to do, say, or things. I'm done.
Yeah. Fuck that.
Anyway, this isn't all that has happened. Yeah. So, it's actually not over in the 2004 inquiry. Continued action on February the 1st, 2012, President of the AFL-CIO, Richard Trumka, wrote to President Obama about his profound shock over the murder of Coke worker and Sinatrial union leader Ricardo Ramon Pablo Gomez in Barranquilla on January 26th, 2012.
Wait, can you say that last part again? Because I was really focused on your pronunciation of that long name, and I was like, wow.
Yeah. So
the actual crime.
Yeah, the coke worker of Sinantrinal union leader Ricardo Raymond Pablo Gomez in Barranquilla on January the 26th, 2012. So another person has been murdered in
Oh,
2012. Like the
jeez.
first
Okay.
time I heard about this shit, I think was sometime around 2009 when my friend was telling me about it at university, weirdly enough.
Yeah.
And it's still happening, man.
It's weird when you think as well, like when we talk about things. I don't know about you, but I feel like you mentioned 2001 or something. It feels
Mm-hmm.
like a long time ago.
Yeah.
But you forget you was like aware and alive during that time. It's not that
Yeah,
long ago. Yeah.
I did, as we discussed last week
Mm,
last week it was we remember 9/11. That
yeah.
was sort of roughly same sort of time as all this kind of shit, and it's like, yeah, man, that's real.
It's weird.
Fucked.
And when you got something that's playing out in real time, yeah, I don't think I've experienced that. Yes,
Yeah,
with an
yeah,
Epstein, but like everyone did.
yeah. The Epstein stuff is still very strange. That is going to be
Yeah.
worth an episode at some point, just a deep
Yeah.
dive into Epstein.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah. And the murder as well.
well, yeah, yeah.
I'm sorry, suicide. Yeah.
Yeah. Suicide. Yeah.
What the fuck on isn't everyone a conspiracy theorist on that? Forget the vaccine.
I
That's what
know,
people
like
should
this is
do.
what's ridiculous. Everyone keeps on going, "Oh no, there's these ridiculous conspiracies that none of them make sense and are self-contradictory."
Yeah,
What about
yeah.
the Epstein shit? What can we pay attention to the thing that actually happened, please?
What what about the fucking government just quietly confirming that aliens and UFOs are coming to the planet? What
Yeah,
about that?
yeah,
That's
we've got
been
UFOs. We
confirmed.
don't know what they are. They're completely confirmed as to exist, but we're not going to worry about it. What are you talking about?
Crazy, man. I can't imagine,
Yeah.
like with aliens specifically, I can't imagine what would need to happen for everyone to really take notice. But anyway, so yeah,
Yeah,
I'm
yeah,
back
yeah.
on the alien bandwagon then.
Yeah, that's fine.
It's
So,
hard.
to this day, Sinatrenal union leaders and coke workers Juan Carlo Galvis and William Mendoza face repeated death threats and are fighting against prison sentences over false accusations by three former paramilitaries of planting a bomb in the Coca-Cola plant in 1998. This is brand new
Oh,
evidence. It was
what?
never brought before previously. Exactly.
Was this for the same
On
bombing you mentioned at the beginning?
No, this is different. That was in
There's another bombing.
1996, supposedly. Yeah,
Yeah. Okay. Jesus.
yeah.
Okay.
And who's going to have a more likely opportunity to get their hands on bomb supplies, I wonder? Is it the paramilitaries or is it the Coca-Cola worker?
And the pure case of motive as well.
Well, exactly. But
Like, I work in this place. I did a union for it. I know I'll blow it up so I don't work there
yeah, I'll
anymore.
blow up
So
the only place I'm desperately trying to work for and make my
yeah,
life better in. That's a good idea.
it made no sense.
Yeah. Right. So yeah, on the March 26th, 2014, union leader and journalist Fred Hirsch wrote, a worker with access to management office found photos in a copy of the Sinai Trinal leaders. William says, we are very concerned about the intended use of these photos. We fear for our lives and safety. Sinai Trinal president Javier Correa faces constant death threats. In 2011, thugs looking for Galvez reportedly entered his home, gagged and tied up his wife, sprayed her with red paint, and threatened to kill their daughter. So this is ongoing,
Yeah.
constantly. Moreover, the International Trade Union Confederation reported on 26th of July 2013 the Coca-Cola bottling plant in Medellin, Colombia, dismissed 132 subcontracted workers, 18 of whom were trade unionists. The Sinatrenal Trade Union condemned the dismissals, which were designed to ensure the workers could not negotiate the list of demands and the company would continue to put pressure on their wages. In 2010, the president of Coke Colombia reportedly authorized police to use violence to stop protests at its Medellin plant. Protesting subcontracted workers trying to join the union at the time were fired, as were 16 workers who tried to join Senatrinal in 2007. After firing protesters working in December 2010, the police, according to Senatrinal President Correa, remained in the bottling plant 24 hours a day, terrorizing workers.
What?
So the police basically turned up in 2010.
There was so much like bad stuff with what you were saying, like
So
firing the union people,
huge
allowing
dismissal
the
of the union.
police, allowing the
Not even
police
that,
to
just
use
letting them.
violence. Like, how are
saying to the police, beat the shit out of my workers for me, would you? They're not doing what they're supposed to.
Like, that shows how much power they have if they were the ones that allowed the police to use violence. You know, just that concept in general.
Yeah, it's fucked, man.
Yeah, man.
But basically,
you can see why a lot of people believe the fact that, which I kind of believe too, that in like future times, you know, corporations will probably just take over countries.
Almost certainly, I'm almost certain that is actually what Amazon is trying to do, as well.
Doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, because look at the way Amazon works. Like, Amazon keeps on talking about, oh, we don't think we should have to pay tax on this, and we don't think we should have to do this. We're providing this service. We're really efficient with this, that, and the other. Like, I look at the way they work and the way they talk about it as well. It's like Amazon, when they said they weren't paying tax, they said, oh, you don't understand, we're misunderstood. Okay, so in what way are you misunderstood? Either you're paying into the country that you're taking money out of, or you're not. Like, how are we running this shit? As Amazon see that as working like with a small business, but you're not. You're subcontracted to Amazon on a completely 0 hours contract, basically, at that point, aren't you? You're working by commission.
Yeah,
for
it's like
Amazon.
That's like the wrestling thing. It's like there should be self-employed contractors or something like that.
Yeah. And like, it's fucking weird, man, because like, when you start looking at the way Amazon works like that, it's like they want their workers to work for them exclusively. They want them to have their own little side game working for Amazon exclusively as well. And then they want them to use all of the Amazon products and services because they've got a discount because they're working with Amazon. Which, if you've got enough people doing that in an area, that sounds a bit like a fucking country. Like, they're all using the same infrastructure. They're all using the same, like money, basically the same communication systems. Like,
they would just need to buy a big island.
Step towards it. Yeah,
which I could totally see Amazon get to that point, because I don't see them slowing down in regards to how much money they're making. And all of that sounded exactly like the wrestling stuff, and exactly like the same issue with they've now banned them from being allowed to do like YouTube or Twitch or anything like that. And if
that's
they do,
so fucked as well, man.
If they do, they have to like sign up for it, do it through WWE. So WWE
they should all
most
fucking
of the money
quit
as well.
Legit, they should all fucking quit and just move to AEW.
WWE are like, these are our people. You can't go anywhere else. Even though you're not employees, you don't get all the benefits, but you can't go and work anywhere else. Whereas AEW are like,
also own their names as well. That's what's fucked. We own the license, your trademark.
Oh yeah,
so
WWE.
Yeah, it's like, so you hang on. So I'm subcontracted to you, but you own my trademark. So I don't own my own business, but you do. But at the same time, I don't get any benefits for you owning my contract or myself.
Yeah, there's exceptions to that.
Vince McMahon has managed to make the ultimate fucking con, and it's bizarre how effective it's been, man.
It's crazy. Well, you got to think as well. Look who's been in charge of the country for the last 4 years. A lot of the new changes have come over the last 4 years, you know.
Yeah. But before I forget, the final sort of breakdown of all this. So we've had mass resignation of employees and employees fleeing the area, additional human rights abuses in 2006, including more torture and, kidnappings, things. Coke still claims to have done no wrongdoing whatsoever. They claim, and again, still working with this manufacturer.
So it's still going now, yeah.
Yeah, still in that bottling plant. And Coca-Cola Colombia are directly involved with the payment of money. That is provably accurate, right?
Yeah.
It's never been taken to a Colombian court, ever.
Yeah, okay.
In Colombia, it's very difficult, this is a quote, for this type of case to make it to a local media, Mr. Correa said. It's all part of the culture of impunity.
You know, I was just thinking to myself, why are they doing it in Colombia? What's the reason? But that is a good reason.
That's the reason. They
That's a
have
and cheap,
very, very
probably.
simple ways of paying off judges. Like the main judge who was supposedly going to see over this case and did see over various cases before, direct links to Coca-Cola and that bottling plant. Like direct links and payments, clear payments.
Yeah. They're just
cases that are 13 years old still have not been cleared up. No one has been detained, and the cases end up unresolved, said Mr. Correa. The paramilitary group that was involved has been disbanded, but there are hundreds, if not thousands, of paramilitary groups in that region of the world, and they can just keep on hiring more.
They could just give
no
themselves a new
jail
name.
time was served for any of the murders or kidnappings at all.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
They don't even, like, over here, you know, in like America, they at least have to put in some effort to cover it up.
You'd think so, yeah, but yeah, it's bizarre in Colombia. Apparently, it's just that's the way it is.
That's messed up, man.
Yeah,
it doesn't surprise me.
What a story! How isn't that a movie, man? How is that not a movie?
I was about to say that. Like, I've never heard of that, and it's surprising that that's been kept so quiet, considering it's such a huge company. I'm drinking a Coca-Cola product right now as we speak.
Oh, by the way, I have not been sponsored by Pepsi at all. Wink, wink.
I'm a Pepsi fan. I'd choose Pepsi over Coca-Cola.
I think I would. It's a bit more savoury. It's not quite so like sickly sweet, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
What preference though with Pepsi? Do you go Max?
Oof. I don't go diet. No one goes diet Pepsi. Diet Pepsi ain't as good. But Pepsi Max I can rock. I can rock a standard Pepsi as well. That's good. Crystal Pepsi can suck a dick.
I don't know that one.
It was only around in the 80s.
Oh.
And it's like literally it's clear Pepsi. It tastes exactly the same as Pepsi, but it's clear.
I'm sure I remember there being a Coke promotion like that as well.
Yeah, they've all sort of tried it at one point, but I saw a video of a guy, and I think it was in like 2015, who drank one of these clear Pepsis that was from 1986.
Oh, God.
It was not pretty, man.
It does not surprise me, you know.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, I really like that story.
It's good, isn't it?
I want to like read up some more into that, to be fair.
Yeah. Oh, by the way,
quite interesting.
Before I forget, I've got to say that information came almost exclusively from a website called killercoke.org or .com. I can't remember which one it is, but if you put in Killer Coke, you will find it. It's basically a charity-based website just for all of the information on it. It's got everything on there, links to other resources, and yeah, I mean it's an open secret and basically a corporate level conspiracy that no one seems to care about.
Yeah, it's just balls to the wall, like they're being so blatant about it from the looks of it, which is the craziest thing. You think that you would have got some blowback over here by now, or America?
Yeah, but people just don't know about it enough. They just don't care. I don't know.
Yeah. The people that do know, like the higher ups and all that, they don't give a shit. Like look at loads of companies do it realistically. Like look at it's like Apple, for example. They loads of companies do, like they make stuff in like China, for example, in sweatshops.
I mean,
like
if you look at if you look at like soya milk and stuff like that, soya milk and almond milk, stuff like that. That is grown large in large quantities in what used to be rainforest that is being bulldozed and burned by, again, paramilitary groups and like corporations using that area to grow crops.
Yeah.
It's fucked, man. It's truly fucked.
It really is. It's hard, especially when you think about it. It's like certain things you're like, once it gets known, it would do something. But this is like, they know and they don't care. Okay.
Yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah.
Oh, it's fucked up, man.
So anyway, what interesting things have you got going on?
Well, before we get to that, we need a quick word from our sponsor.
Sponsor time!
Katie's comedian quiz-offs. Katie's comedian quiz-offs. Katie's comedian quiz-off. Katie's comedian quiz-off. Katie's comedian quiz-off. KD. Comedian quiz-off. KD. Comedian quiz-off.
Okay then, so yeah, my turn. The story I am bringing you this week, I am also going down the true crime route as well. In a very true crimey episode. I will be doing the Lululemon murders. We're both doing shops or products essentially to do with corporations, actually.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Got a theme this week.
Right, even meaning to. So the Lululemon murders, and just first of all, the shop, because I didn't know anything about it. It's an athletic clothing store, but it's described by its ex-workers as being more like a cult than a shop. The assistants are called educators. It's been around since 1998. There's not really. It's got 460 stores internationally, but the cult thing just comes from apparently how they run it, the way they learn things and they meet up. But there wasn't a lot of detail as to why.
Sounds a bit like a sexy Scientology.
We'll go with that. Or like the hipster Scientology as well, though.
Yeah.
But night in question then. So March 11th, 2011. It's in Maryland, USA. The Maryland, USA store. There were two women working. The following morning, the shop was to be opened by a different member of staff. She got there, unlocked the shop, and went inside. As she walked in and saw the blood, she walked in, she saw a load of blood all over the place. A lot of blood. And as she walked in, she discovered, she also, as well, while walking around, found a male shoe in the blood with a footprint, as you can see right there. That'll be important in the future, though. But as she got into the back room, she discovered the body of Jayna Murray. This is Jayna Murray here. She'd received a hell of a lot of wounds. She was tied up. Look at though she'd been sexually assaulted as well. But we'll talk more about her in a moment. In another room, they found Brittany Norwood tied to a toilet. And here's Brittany Norwood, photo taken of her tied to the toilet. She was still alive. She was.
Did she survive?
Yeah, she was still alive. Seen as unconscious. She had some minor wounds to her. Most of the attention seemed to have been paid on Jane. She'd been sexually assaulted as well from the looks of it. You know, she had like rips in her jeans and the proper places. So yeah, that's the basic story. Let me put in Jane. They were educated.
That's a pretty fucking hard hitting like
start to it.
I mean, that's the way you start the movie, isn't it? Really, it's just like the detective walks in, is like, "This is the scene I found."
This is the scene we find. They were educated.
Now we go back 3 months.
Yeah, literally, I was about to say.
Oh shit!
Educators working the previous night, not a few months, but a night. Actually, a bit more from the area. Actually, as well. The cash registers and safe had been emptied, and the shop floor was ransacked. There was evidence showing that one of the girls had tried to escape, but had been pulled back in by the attackers. So everything was pointing to it being a simple case of a burglary gone wrong. You know, maybe they happened upon them and they made the decision to do what they were doing. You know, ignore what I said before. We are not going back yet. We're carrying on forward, sorry, up until when Brittany Norwood was eventually, she was taken to hospital and that she was okay. Mainly superficial wounds more than anything. Like I said, it seemed like they were focusing a lot more on Brittany. Maybe they got, they had to leave for some reason. I was thinking, what's the word for that? They got interrupted. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brittany Norwood, though, when she was eventually able to talk to the police, she told them that her and Jayna locked up the shop and left around 9 p.m. as usual.
God
again.
Thank you very much.
However, after leaving, Jane realised that she'd left her purse with a Metro card in the shop. So Jayna went back to the shop and Brittany had to go with her as she was the one with the keys. She said she was unable to find it in the shop, so Jayna gave her Metro card to Brittany as Jayna was driving that day. As they went to leave the shop, though, two men suddenly burst through the doors. They entered the store wearing ski masks, and one of the men dragged Jayna to the back room after striking her and was dragging her by the hair. He beat her and sexually assaulted her. Investigators found bunches of her hair around the shop, showing how she'd been brutally dragged around by her hair.
Jesus Christ.
And then Brittany, the one obviously telling us everything at the moment, was taken to the bathroom by the other man who zip tied her hands and ankles. She was attacked and then he cut a hole in her trousers and he sexually assaulted her too, so confirming what the scene looked like, The men then took all the money they could find to the cash registers and the safe and left the shop, leaving the two women to be eventually found the following morning. So they did leave during all this, and they left them there overnight, until the morning to be found.
Yeah.
So not any particular reason why there was just more done to Jayna than Brittany at this point. Yeah, but yeah.
Yeah, just so far it looks right. So yeah, actually, so far to me, I can't see anything. I can't see what
he
the
left
fuck
the
is
shoe
about
for some reason as well.
Yeah, that's the thing that's sticking out to me is I'm not sure what the fuck someone leaves a shoe behind for.
Yeah. The right. No, is that the right? That's the left shoe, actually. I think, isn't it? I swear it said left shoe.
Yeah, that's left.
Somewhere.
Yeah. I've got to blow my nose because of that bloody sneeze now. Okay, remove that from the edit.
Yeah. But going back to the body then, where they found Jayna, lying next to her body was a red toolbox with various tools in it. She received over 331 wounds to her body, multiple tools. All those ones in the picture were the ones that were used in the murder, including hammer, wrench, knife, and all that stuff. All of those things were used to kill her.
Fucking hell.
Which,
you got to get creative with some of that shit too. Fucking sure. Jesus.
107 of the wounds on her were defensive, showing that she put up a fight but was alive through most of it. 25 of the wounds were serious injuries to her face, so 25 of them serious facial injuries.
Okay, now that's personal. You see, the thing is that for me is like the hint.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you don't attack someone's face unless it's fucking personal, man. That's fucked.
The fatal wound was a stab to the back of the head that severed the spinal cord, but there was also bruising and bleeding to the brain, which would have led to it if not before that.
Yeah.
So they can't be completely sure what was the actual shot. But yeah, like you said, it seems very personal, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like, that's the thing. Like, if you're trying to make it look like it's a sort of smash and grab, that's the bit that fucking gets me. Like,
yeah.
Well, that's vicious. That's anger.
Yeah. The police tried to look into anything they could to try and track down the two attackers, including looking at purchases of ski masks. They were looking at witnesses in the area and any nearby CCTV. They were able to find an interesting piece of footage from an Apple store next to the scene of the crime. But that showed the store assistants in the shop next door hearing the frantic screams of the woman, which we assume must have been Jayna, coming from the store next door. You can see the CCTV of them reacting to it, which they admitted to the police and came under fire for not reporting, but apparently something to do with the Consumer Act. It wasn't illegal to do that, the Bystander Act.
What?
Yep.
if you hear someone getting the shit beaten out of them next door, you call the fucking police. Jesus Christ.
So
what the fuck?
Yeah, they had a lot of flack. There's a lot of sociopaths in the world, it seems.
Yeah. Jeez, it's like that. It just reminds me of that bit. I know it's terrible, but it reminds me of the bit in Family Guy where it's was it Horton hears domestic abuse and doesn't call the police about it, and it's just Horton's nope, not my problem. It's like fucking what? Jesus Christ, mate.
People they talk about this a lot in like ghosty kind of stories or alien things. People will look for any excuse they can to disregard what they see or hear.
Yeah.
And especially true in this. But they also found CCTV footage from outside of the store, and it showed two men in all black walking from the direction of the Lululemon store around about the right sort of time that could fit, but the police would track them down, but they were just buzzboys finishing a shift. So nothing came of that super quickly. There was also a homeless person from the area with violent tendencies who was also a suspect for a while, but he was also cleared once the police found him in hospital and had been over the time of the attack. Okay, so eventually Jayna's car was found 3 blocks away from the Lululemon store, the woman who died. Police took the car in and forensically examined it. Surprisingly, it was found to have traces of blood in it, but blood from both Jayna and Brittany, both of the women. So when police asked Brittany about this, she had said she'd been said had PTSD from it, and she'd been recovering memories apparently. She'd recovered a memory in regards to what had happened and in regards to the car in general, which is something that does happen to people.
Yeah. I mean, first-hand accounts are notoriously shitty.
Yeah.
So
how do you feel about it so far? What do you think the memory could be?
Well, I mean, the sort of the cult aspect is still stuck in my head. The idea of this place being, not the usual, but like, why the fuck would they go to that extreme, man? And like, that's the thing as well. It's like, it's as I say, like, that shit's personal with the face and with like the way they fucked them up.
Oh, like, so you thinking about whether it was the store then, basically, the company,
or something to do with it? I don't know. It seems very strange though, like fucking weird.
Well, let me tell you the memory that she had first of all, then, because I like you thinking in regards to this. So she said then that the two men, that had attacked them, were worried when they realised that Jayna's car was in a position where it might get towed away because Jayna and the two women had come back just to grab the Metro card, so they were planning to just get in and out, So they just parked it wherever. So they did the smart thing. After attacking Brittany some more, they ordered her to go and drive Jayna's car away, and then to come straight back from the shop, to the shop. Sorry. She did exactly that, and she said that they told her she would be dead if she didn't come back, and someone would be watching her the whole time. Apparently, she drove like 6 blocks away, something like that, and then came back without telling anyone. Jayna's blood was also found on Brittany on the night of the attack, but during the interview, I meant to say this earlier, during the interview, she explained that it happened when she was taken near to Brittany's body and she fell on her while being moved by the people. She fell on apparently. There's a video of an interview, shows her, she's talking about it, and she said she pressed down, fell completely on her or something. But it's just something that was included in the interview, which I'm not going to bother showing now. Okay, so
very, very strange. I mean, it's a horrendous murder so far, but
yeah. Well, most of this stuff came from that chapter channel that I mentioned.
Yeah.
This is the first one I've done that was purely from there because it's just a very interesting thing, and it does not stop getting interesting. I can say, Nathan. Well, I will get into it. Later, medical examinations were done on both lady people, and it showed that neither of them were actually sexually assaulted whatsoever. There's lady people. I find that to be the safest way to say it nowadays.
Yeah.
Such a loaded question. Like, I was moving into my new place recently and I had to fill in some of the paperwork, and they were like, do you consider yourself male or female? I was like, that's such a loaded question nowadays.
Yeah.
Oh.
Ooh, what about the non-binary? You haven't added the non-binary.
They haven't added all the other 100
oh shit, that
genders
reminds
that
me.
apparently exist.
Have you? I was talking last week about being pretty stoked on the Tom Segura podcast shout out.
Yeah.
Well, I rewatched an episode, a thing that Tom Segura used to do whenever he went to like any news show, like local news show.
Is it the rap guy?
DJ Dadmouth, yeah. He just turns out like, yeah. At one point, he's like, yeah, I was glad the last time I turned out as I came out as pansexual.
That when he was sitting with a woman on the setting.
Yeah, and he's like, and now I'd like to come out as non-binary. And you know, they're just, these people have no idea what to do with that shit. I fucking love that shit, man.
Yeah, I love.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's like you got male, female. Where's the non-binary? Where's the trans? This? Where's the trans?
God knows. I don't. Yeah, I've always said this. I don't like people call themselves what they want. That's fine. Like you know. Yeah, but
yeah. I
won't get into the scientific point of it now, because if you want to get down to what's a fact, there's only a certain fact, and a fact is a fact. But where was I even going with that then? What was my point? Yeah, I don't get. I've never understood this. Why trans stuff is included in the LGBT community?
Because I think it's. Yeah, I think it's just because it's the closest umbrella that they can put the thing under. It's like they've got the LGBTQ now as well, which is like the queer or questioning, which is like people who just go, I'm not quite sure, so that umbrella.
That comes since it though, but that feels like almost a reactive thing to it, because they're contradictive in my eyes, because you got lesbian and gay saying, I like this gender of person, I like this gender of person, but they're trans are saying genders don't exist because you can go from one to the other, so they shouldn't exist. So how does that fit into, like? I
think it's sort of.
You know what I'm saying? though? Gay means I like men. Women means I like women.
I think the thing is, that's the thing, that to trans people, there's a difference between sexuality and gender. So your sexuality is what do you want to fuck, and your gender is what do you want to be.
Yeah.
So
but the person you're fucking is gonna be something.
Well, yeah.
You know,
you see, the
we're not
thing
pieces
to me
of meat,
is,
Nathan.
Yeah, this is to me the thing that I really come down to is like, I don't care what you want to be called, I'll call you it. They, them, whatever you want to be, that's fine, I'll call you it. But like, I don't think it's a bad thing to talk about what someone used to be. It's like the idea of dead naming. I'm sorry, I don't think that's necessarily a problem. I don't think it's necessarily a problem to admit where you came from in any way, shape, or form. It's part of what makes you you. If this is such a natural, open thing, let it be natural and open. And I'm not going to call you by that name. I just, I don't see why it has to be completely like removed and unacknowledged. Like the same thing of like
criminals.
I don't understand, like, again, the misgendering thing of being such an issue. I've been fucking misgendered. Look, I'm a dude with long fucking hair. Do you know what that means? I've walked down the street and had people go like, oh, is that a man or a woman from a little kid? It's like, I was actually that kid. I was the kid who said that about a dude with long hair when I was a kid. It's just something that fucking happens. Mistakes happen.
Going down the generation.
I have had my arse fondled by a dude who thought I was a chick once at a bar. Yeah. I had.
That makes more sense. At least you have a woman's ass. That's a compliment.
Oh yeah, but this is the thing. It's like there's there's room in the world for all of that, but also at the same time, just cut people a little bit of slack. It's like the thing with trans
you can jump on
people as
anything.
well.
Like me just saying women's arse. It's like me implying that because it's a woman's arse, it's more sexual and it's a sexual thing. So I'm a misogynist.
But again, that's to you. Like, this is the thing. To you, that's more sexy. There's a bunch of guys out there and women who have nothing more that they want to watch than a nice chunky bit of man arse. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it ain't for me, and that's fine.
It's like they say the idea of what's sexy is literally different for every person. It's just based on it's just based on things from being younger, like what your personal opinion of beauty is. So some people are into really big women, some people have sticks, some people and it's
some people get the jungle fever, some people like Asian chicks, some people just.
Is it racist to say? I saw this in the program the other day. Is it racist to say I'm not me saying it myself?
It's racist to say almost anything.
Preference.
Yeah.
Well,
no, I'm joking.
Like, I don't have this preference myself. I like variants. I'm like a buffet when it comes to girls. I like all different types. Like,
Yeah, same here. I just find women incredibly attractive, and that's fine.
But I don't think there's anything wrong there at the same time. If someone said I'm just not attracted to black girls, that's not racist. That's just they're not attracted to black girls.
Yeah, I think
it's not.
If
they don't like them because they're black, that's different.
To me, that's to a certain extent is fine, because you do get as well black women saying that they don't like white guys or this, that, or the other.
Saying that
people have their preferences. People have their preferences, but I think it gets less racist when you accept the fact that there are certain exceptions to the rule. Like,
oh yeah.
Let's be honest. Not every, but the vast majority of reasonable blokes are gonna want to do Beyonce.
Yeah.
Hell yes, Beyonce. I mean, god damn, Beyonce.
You know what? I'm just looking through where we got to on my story, and I'm thinking, how did
sorry,
we get
man.
to this? No, me as well. I'm thinking, how did we get to this? The last thing I was saying was, medical examinations were done on both of them, and lady people, that was it. I think that got us talking into political correctness.
Lady people,
yeah. Okay then. So the bloody footprints on the man were size 14, and they were just left there for some reason.
Yeah.
The shop didn't sell shoes, but it did supply them to put some on when people bought clothes from there to see what it looked like. And funnily enough, it was that size that they had in there. I think I'm a bit confused on what they said in here. Just ignore this bit. There was only two sets of. Either way, there was only two sets of footprints that were found at the scene.
Right.
The man's size 14 and Brittany's. Further examinations of the man's shoe and Brittany's shoe, to be more specific, the sole inside, suggested that the same bloody sock was worn on whatever foot was. Or could have been different feet. The same sock, either way, was worn in both shoes. From the blood-soaked sock, you could tell.
So that's an interesting turn of events, isn't it?
Furthermore, as well, the zip tie that Brittany had around her wrists in that photo that I showed you, had teeth marks on it. The one around the wrists, possibly from trying to gnaw at it to escape, but from looking at the placement, more likely from tying it
herself. Oh my god!
It actually seems as though the masked robbers didn't bring anything with them to the attack, as all the zip ties, tools, weapons, and everything had come from in the shop, even their shoes apparently. But to be fair, if your mate believes you can't, how would you carry your own shoes?
Yeah.
Yep. So Brittany Norwood was then arrested and charged with the first-degree murder of Jayna Murray.
Fuck.
Yep. It was her.
Jesus Christ.
It was her all along.
What the fuck, man? Like, that is Machiavellian shit. That is like, I'm going to fake a full-blown robbery.
There she is.
Jesus Christ, man. Jesus Christ.
Norwood. Now, I think we should take a little look at this photo again from where they found her. Now knowing she put it all on, does anything seem a bit weird about that photo? Bear in mind then that she was left there the night before, and this was the next morning when they found her. It might not be obvious because it wasn't obvious till he pointed it out to me.
No, I can't see.
It's the fact of how she's lying tied up to the chair. It's like she's lying exactly like that, you know, you would see in a film when they'd find someone tied up, you know, still her hands up above her.
Yeah.
You know, but
so
if you were left like that all day, you would have moved. You would have gone into a different position.
Yeah,
Most
you would have
go in a
found
fetal
some
position.
other way. Yeah, yeah.
That's
She's
just the
not
most
in a
uncomfortable
comfortable
way.
environment. She's in the she's in the situation where she thinks this is what people look like.
Exactly.
Oh, fuck,
And
man.
it's so obvious when you think about it and then look at it. It's like, oh shit. But why? Why did she do it? What do you think? Or how? Or why? Anything?
I mean, the how is relatively self-explanatory.
Well, yeah.
Apart from the sexual assault stuff, that's like
it looks as though she did what they weren't sexually assaulted, so nothing had gone in, nothing had penetrated them. So it seems
just
as though she was
it made to look as though it was
make it look like it, yeah. Which is kind of silly because if you're gonna go that far into it, she was already committed, you know, by this point. I'm surprised she didn't just get like a broom handle and just maybe they would have seen it was post-mortem then. I don't know on her.
Yeah, but also at the same time, like, damn, that's fucking fucked. I think that's probably the limit for her. That was it. It's just, do I fuck a dead body with a broom? Is that too far for me?
I mean, by that point though, you're already there. If you're gonna do something, do it properly.
If you want a job done right, you gotta do it yourself.
it's like the fucking the car. Put that somewhere smarter, you know, or get rid of it completely, or I don't know, don't touch it. Maybe would be the better idea. Yeah, just don't touch it.
Don't touch it.
Just don't touch it.
Yeah, fuck.
Because she decided to go. Obviously, she must have decided to go and move the car for some reason.
Yeah.
After spending the time to inflict 331 wounds, wasn't it, on her?
That is the dumbest move.
Yeah,
but the dumbest move.
But let's have a look at why then, why and how and all that. So a few days before, as I mentioned then, so Lululemon was like a cult. It was people loved being there. They, you know, they were found once they were there and had been there for a while. They didn't want to leave.
Excuse me.
They didn't want to. They didn't want to leave or anything. You know, that was their family to them. But a few days before the incident, the staff from the Lululemon store, that store, were brought together for a staff meeting because it seemed as though one of the workers had been stealing, and they wanted to make them aware that there was going to be random bag checks going forward. Right. On the night of March 11th, Jayna performed a random bag check on Brittany, and she found a pair of yoga pants from the store with the tag still on it. Superly overpriced things, but that's not important.
Hang on. Hang on. I hope there's more levels to this. I hope this isn't just someone killed someone for fucking clothes.
Well, it's not too sure about the outcome of that particular conversation and what happened, but later that night, after leaving the shop, Brittany lured Jayna back to the shop to look for the purse with the MetroCard in, and they also spoke about the yoga pants situation. Nothing else is clear from that. That's all it was about. That's it. I was trying to figure out a way to make it a bit more impactful then, but no, that's it. Yeah. So she didn't want to lose her job, it seemed. You lost for words, aren't you?
I am. I don't understand. Like, Jesus Christ.
I mean, it's unclear whether an altercation and a conversation took place over the yoga pants and an argument, or whether she straight up attacked her out of nowhere to try and, you know, just make it so she wouldn't get fired.
They're yoga pants.
Yeah,
they're yoga pants. They're yoga pants. Why the fuck who dies for yoga pants?
It's the job, isn't it? Is what she obviously was dying for.
Well, yeah,
do you know what I mean?
Even then,
she saw the job, that she saw the possibility of getting fired as better. No, sorry, she saw the possibility of getting done for murder and murdering someone as better than possibly getting fired. Like,
wow, that's dedication to your work, isn't it? I mean,
that is some corporation dedication right there.
Yeah.
I don't blame them for making their shop like a cult, man. It works out, doesn't it, for them?
Yeah. You want to keep those people around. They're going to sell a lot of stuff.
Let's not forget as well, it isn't just that she killed her. 331 wounds, 121 or whatever it was of them were defensive wounds. So it wasn't a quick, like on the floor. It was a fight, clumps of her hair all around the shop, which makes more sense now as well.
Yeah.
Fucking
hell.
Yeah. And
also, was she tied up when they were doing the fight, or was she like walking around just having the shit beaten out of her in this place? Because like after a while,
yeah, and you got to imagine she couldn't have been tied up to begin with. She would have had to attack her at some point to start with, get her down, and then she probably tied her up. It took between 10 and 20 minutes going by the body that the attack would have lasted for. Somewhere between 10 and 20 minutes. She would have been conscious the whole time. She was alive the whole time.
Christ.
Yeah. So
it's like that death by 1,000 cuts shit that they used to do in China.
Oh no, a lot of them are proper stabs as well, but it's just there was nothing that lethal until the one to the back of her neck severed a spinal cord. After she was dead, she then staged the crime scene. She moved Jayna's car and sat in it for about 90 minutes figuring out what to do. So she'd already moved the car before she thought, I'm going to really think about what I should do here, which was a mistake. Well, sorry, this is another mistake. Obviously, many mistakes have got to this point. Many mistakes.
Yeah, getting a job in that fucking place for a start. Jesus Christ, if you can't be that mellow, you don't deserve to sell yoga pants.
Considering her frame of mind, I think getting up and leaving the house was a mistake, to be honest with you.
Yeah, probably.
So 90 minutes figuring out what to do. She cut holes in both their jeans to make it look as though they were sexually assaulted. Zip tied herself and waited there until she was found the next day by the manager when the store opened. So she specifically let someone else come in to get traumatized by it as well, because remember that load of blood I showed you at the beginning,
and a dead corpse
that they know. And that is why, despite some social justice idiots making out on the internet that, in my opinion, you should not believe what any woman tells you when they say they've been attacked just because they're a woman. You shouldn't do it. Don't just believe them. This is why.
Believe. Yeah, you don't just believe. I
forgot about that point at the end. Yeah. Don't just believe people when they say they've been attacked. There is always reason. Everyone lies, women too. I see a lot of people saying,
don't get me wrong.
Don't do it.
Don't get me wrong. There's hang on. God damn it, don't sneeze again. There is a sort of there are situations that are genuinely shit. Fuck it.
Yeah, there's genuine situations when you need. Well, no, there's genuine situations when. Okay, so what you're going to say? I don't know how to word it.
No, basically, yes. Does abuse of women happen? Absolutely.
Oh, of course, yeah.
And it happens all the fucking time, and the nasty motherfuckers who do it deserve what fucking comes to them.
Yeah, of
but
course, yeah.
At the same time, again, yes, as you were saying, women are humans. They are not worse than men, and they are not better than men. Yeah. They are just as shitty people. Margaret Thatcher was a shitty fucking prime minister, just as shitty as all of the other fucking prime ministers.
Hillary Clinton.
Yeah, she would have made a shitty president. Maybe not quite as shitty as Trump, but definitely a shitty president.
At
Like
least
a
Trump,
vastly maybe
at
shitty
least
in a
Trump
different
didn't
way.
know. Yeah, at least Trump didn't know his stuff bad enough that if he wanted to fuck everyone over, he couldn't do that good of a job of it. Whereas Hillary knows her stuff. She, I could see that.
Yeah, I don't.
But I mean,
I never get this thing as well. It's like when we did the Laughing Granny. Like no one thinks of serial killers as being women, and then look at what happens.
But this is the thing. I think we were saying this at the time that people always say, you hear it all the time that the majority of serial killers are men. They're a lot less likely to be women. I don't think that's true. Maybe women are just generally speaking better at not getting caught.
Though there is actually evidence to show that women get less severe sentencing than men for the same
That too, yeah.
crime. They are less likely to be convicted, as you say,
definitely too,
for the same crimes. And even if they are convicted, they are far more likely to get lenient things such as community service or something like that, as opposed to jail time, where the men would get jail time.
And also as well, if you look at it like, I find it weird when like people like, you don't get it very often now, to be fair, but when some feminists will say like, if you'll say certain or characteristics that are more common in women, they'll say don't
masculine
generalize
or feminine things.
But then at the same time they'll say about toxic masculinity. It's the same thing either way. Your hormones make certain things, the way we've evolved means that men are different to women in certain ways. And the reason I mention that is that we were more like, actually I just thought of another part of it. I'll say the first one first. Women like are supposed to be like, less emotional, more controlled, able to think about things a bit more, whereas we have the whole caveman mentality, balls to the wall, which will come across in serial killings and stuff. That makes sense.
Yeah, there's a certain thing about men's aggression being related to testosterone distinctly, and actual sexual interest, because women who have a higher sort of sexual interest or sexual sort of activity tend to have a higher amount of testosterone in their system. This is a hormone reaction, people. This is what it's supposed, and women have testosterone in their system for that reason. Give them that sort of reaction of, this, that, and the other.
It's weird, you know what?
Shit, but that's the thing, like, this is the way life has to be. Like, men are slightly different. They are slightly more aggressive. We have slightly different ways of looking at the world. Men are more likely to hunt. Women are more likely to gather. When men are more likely to do something mechanical based, women are more likely to do something personality based. This doesn't mean that these people have to do these things
or can't.
It's like female wrestlers. They are fucking fantastic athletes and they are fantastic performers and they exist. And there's also female bodybuilders out there. Again,
but there's
a whole spectrum of these things, but it doesn't mean that women are less or men are more. It's just they're fucking different, man. There's nothing wrong with different.
It's like it's the same thing as well when you talk about race, like when they say there's literally nothing different between like a white guy and a black guy. It's like, well, no, they're still people, of course. There's nothing different in the sense that we're people, like, but
I can still converse and talk and enjoy and
well, it's not even that, because they could be speaking a different language as well. So we're just people. But at the same time, there is still a scientific reason why they're black and I'm white.
They have a history of evolving in an area with significantly more sunlight that meant they needed more melatonin, which also had additional effects on things like sickle cell anemia being an issue. But sickle cell anemia being an issue has actually been proven to be a distinct barrier against malaria. That's another evolutionary thing from that area.
Oh, wow, okay.
Yeah, sickle cell anemia, people who have sickle cell anemia are far less likely to get malaria.
That's so random.
Yeah, but it's just the way the blood works, the way the body works. It's like Scandinavian people, they're all like fair-skinned and stuff like that. It's because there's no sunlight up there. They need to absorb as much as they fucking can, or they shoot themselves.
Yeah, I've heard this lately, that vitamin D is considered more like, in the experts in that, to consider vitamin D more like a hormone rather than a vitamin. It's just spoke as a vitamin.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Mm.
Like I do genuinely notice a big difference between like when it's sunny in the summer. You feel better, man. You feel better, and that's the vast majority of that, I think, is vitamin D, because there's just more sun around for more of the time. You feel better, you know.
And apparently, that's one factor at the moment with Corona stuff that just makes people a lot healthier in regards to it and deal with it better. Vitamin D, apparently.
Although actually that makes sense. You know, as well, like exercise is a huge connection. They did a test with a load of rats where they got a bunch of rats and gave them like flu, a deadly form of flu, right?
Yeah.
And they had the control group who just were left alone, and then the other group who were forced to do, well, not forced, but had the opportunity to do, I think it was like an hour and a half's like solid exercise each day, like spaced out, but that's the total they were doing. And the ones that did the exercise had, I think it was like a 20% better survival rate from this flu than the ones who didn't exercise.
Okay, yeah. No, rats, though, you said?
Yeah, rats.
Okay, yeah. See,
it works the same in humans. It works the same with anything like that. It's just about moving things in your body, keeping yourself going, you know.
Yeah, it's weird as well how it like works on rats and it's such a good representation for us. I always find that strange that rats are the ones that work like that. Or is it just any animal?
Well, we're fairly similar to rats. We're more similar to chimpanzees. I think chimpanzees are the closest to us because it's like 98 or 97%, or closer than that. That's the genetic similarity. But I wouldn't want to go near a chimpanzee.
No. That story of the one like ripping off. Have you heard that
off
one
the woman's face? Fuck, Jesus, no. I'm not.
The birthday. Have you heard the birthday cake one?
The birthday cake one.
Yeah. This guy had a chimp as a pet for ages, and then he got too big, and he took him to some sanctuary place or whatever it is.
And then he tried to go in with a birthday cake. Yeah, and then he ripped his bollocks off.
No. The one that he took it to was all happy. No, that's kind of true. The one that that he took the cake to was all happy, but it's because the other chimps were jealous. They feel jealousy. They were jealous that he was getting the cake and he wasn't, and the cage wasn't shut properly for some reason. It got out. And they go for what hurts you, man. They go for your eyes, your fingers, your nuts.
Yeah.
Ugh, vicious things.
I don't understand people's obsession with primates, man. Leave them alone. They don't want to be anywhere near you. Like spider monkeys, everyone's spider monkeys are so cute. You know that they can put their fingers into your skin and pull out your tendons.
God.
Like if you are holding a spider monkey on your arm, like this is my arm here, this lovely bit of arm, there's a spider monkey just standing there. It will just go bang and pull it out. Why would you ever have that near you?
People are dumb. It's like having even. I used to know someone that used to have a giant snake. I was trying to remember what it was. It was like
shit, like an anaconda or something fucking stupid. Yeah,
it was like big enough that it looked like it could maybe eat a child, definitely maybe an adult. Yeah. And I swear she used to let it like go around her room and that. But I've also heard a story about someone doing that, and they woke up, and the snake used to always like lie with them and that. And they woke up the one morning, and the snake was like up to their knees, like eating him.
Yeah,
because
and you know the reason
it's not lying there with them.
No,
not doing
it's
that.
it's
sizing them up.
calculating how big it is. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's going. Am I big enough to eat it yet? No, I'll
No,
wait
no.
till next week.
So much din time.
Yeah, like snakes don't want to be your friend. They're not interested in that. Like,
I love snakes, though. I am. A big
so do
snake
I.
fan.
They're fascinating, and I'd love to own a snake. But at no point would I ever own a snake that could eat me.
Yeah, no.
I want to be its source of food. I don't want to be its meal.
The fucking my boys have got a snake, and somehow their mom let it escape, and there's a snake escaped around that. It's a tiny snake. It's a corn snake.
Yeah, but still.
Still, I said it's probably not even in the house anymore. It's like a council block of flats, like Mason
it's gone.
Probably gone now,
Long gone. Yeah.
or gone in someone else's house or in the walls, So.
Yeah. Yeah. Same here. Yeah.
Cool then, man. Thank you for that. Then again, another
Yeah.
good one down. And if you're happy to do it again next week, then let me know.
Yeah, man. It's
Cool.
It's good. I think I've got another idea for next week, but I might have to have a break the week after unless I can come up with something before then. But yeah, we should be good.
Yeah, no, that's fine, man. Just let me know beforehand. So you're happy to do this next one coming then?
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah, it can be anything you want anyway, man. Like a true crime story like that, or a topic.
Provided it's sort of a bit exciting and conspiratorial or murder-based or interesting. Yeah.
No, I can't think of examples. Figure out what I'm saying. But yeah, I think you know what I mean anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, cool then, man. Thank you very much then.
I think that's successful.
Yeah. And I will see you on the Christmas one you're coming on for the quiz. That was good.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, the 16th. I'll see you before that anyway then. All right, cool then.
Cheers again, my friend.
Yo, take care. Bye-bye.
See you later.